What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, iconic Hall of Fame superstar boxer who was the former undisputed heavyweight world champion, still holds the record for being the youngest heavyweight world champion in history of the sport of boxing, that being none other than Iron Mike Tyson. He weighs in on this past Saturday night's highly anticipated trilogy showdown between undefeated two-time heavyweight world champion British superstar boxer Tyson the Gypsy King Fury, who is now 31 wins, no losses, one draw. Tyson Fury has 22 big wins by way of knockout, 32 years of age, stands 6'9", with a 85-inch arm reach. He defeated Olympic bronze medalist, former WBC American heavyweight world champion superstar boxer Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder, who is now 42 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw. 41 big wins by way of knockout. Deontay Wilder, 35 years of age, standing 6'7", with an 83-inch arm reach. With that said, Mike Tyson, ahead of this fight, he said that it was intriguing because he didn't know if Deontay Wilder was simply coming in for a paycheck. As Deontay Wilder, he pushed for this fight, okay? Because Tyson Fury, who was contractually obligated to give Deontay Wilder a trilogy after their second fight, Tyson Fury was trying to avoid fighting Deontay Wilder. As Tyson Fury, he was looking to fight fellow countrymen and two-time unified heavyweight world champion British superstar boxer Anthony Joshua in an all undisputed showdown, okay? And that didn't obviously come to fruition, as Anthony Joshua, he had to fight his WBO mandatory challenger, an Olympic gold medalist, former undisputed cruiserweight turned heavyweight, now unified world champion Oleksandr Usyk, after he defeated Anthony Joshua 2 weekends ago. And Tyson Fury, he had to fulfill his obligated trilogy match with Deontay Wilder, as he did. And Tyson Fury was victorious, okay? He was victorious in the fight. So that's what Tyson Fury wanted to do. But he was obligated to fulfill the trilogy match with Deontay Wilder. He was victorious in doing so, okay? But Mike Tyson, he questioned whether Deontay Wilder pushed for this trilogy, going to mediation and arbitration, and he was doing so just simply for a paycheck. And it turns out that this fight was fight of the year. It was 5 knockdowns in the 11th round. Deontay Wilder was knocked out in the 11th round. But in the 3rd round, Deontay Wilder was knocked down twice. In the 4th round, Tyson Fury was knocked down twice. And we know in the 11th round, Tyson Fury knocked out Deontay Wilder. But it was a nip and tuck fight. It was going back and forth. It was an action-packed fight. It was historic, okay? And so Iron Mike Tyson, he said the questions were answered, okay? He saw that both of them laid on the line. He said not for skill, but for heart, and for determination and the will that was on display from both guys, okay? The will to win on the part of both guys. Nobody wanted to back down. Nobody wanted to lose. And because of that, it made it a historic event. He said this is going to go down in history as one of the greatest fights in the history of sport of boxing. And now Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury has truly solidified themselves as one of the greats, 2 of the great heavyweights in the history of the sport of boxing. And he says this was a very, very big testament to Malik King Scott, former heavyweight star title contender, Malik King Scott. Okay, so this turned out to be, he said, a testament to Malik Scott for preparing Deontay Wilder in a manner in which he did. Now, Deontay Wilder, like Mike Tyson said, this wasn't a skill battle. This wasn't a battle of skill. This was a battle of will, okay? He said that, both guys completely laid it on the line. And, it was very, very highly impressive, to see both guys' will and determination. He said, but the fact that, what he saw, the adjustments that Malik Scott made for Deontay Wilder in this fight, it showed, okay? Now, again, in Deontay Wilder, he stated that what took place in the 3rd round, when Tyson Fury knocked him down and hit him behind the ear, he stated that once he got hit behind the ear, he never recovered. He said his equilibrium was off from that point on, and there was times where he didn't even know where he was at in the ring. So that was all will and determination to be victorious. And he was looking to land the right hand, okay? He did become predictable, but in the first 2 rounds, you could see Deontay Wilder using a jab to the solar plexus, going to the body, slipping underneath the punches, staying low, throwing hooks to the body, using a straight jab to the body, straight right hand to the body, you could see him implementing the game plan. But he went away from the game plan, and he even stated that after he got hit, and that's a testament to Tyson Fury behind his ear. So he stated that he attempted to go back down to the body, but due to the fact that his equilibrium was off, he just could not succeed. He couldn't consistently. So, Deontay Wilder, he said that he attempted to go back down to the body and make it a point to go back down to the body, but he just simply could not do it, okay, because his equilibrium was off, and he just simply could not commit to going back down to the body. He started to fatigue after the third round. You can clearly see that, and ultimately that's what cost him the fight, I believe. But it was definitely a great game plan on the part of Malik King Scott. Malik Scott, I was privy to see them working on the game plan all week. I was privy to see some of the things that they were working on, and some of the focus that they were placing towards Tyson Fury. And I believe it was a great game plan. There was a lot of slipping, going to the body, paying attention to holding the phone, keeping your defense, staying defensively responsible. So there was a lot of attention to detail as far as being defensively responsible. But you can see, in the fight, as the fight played out, Deontay Wilder was lacking on the defense, and he wasn't staying defensively responsible. He was getting hit very easy with the jab and the straight right hand from Tyson Fury. But ultimately, definitely it was a great fight. It was an action-packed fight, and it was going down in history. Like Big George Foreman stated, this was one of the greatest heavyweight title fights in the history of sport of boxing. He stated there was a lot of great fights, but there weren't a lot of great heavyweight title fights. He even pointed at himself and Ron Lyle. He said it was a great fight, but it wasn't a title fight, okay? And so with that said, this definitely is going down in history. So Mike Tyson, he says they have cemented themselves as two of the greatest heavyweights in the history of the sport of boxing, okay? I personally feel Deontay Wilder has the highest knockout ratio in the history of sport of boxing. Started boxing when he's 21 years old. Knocked down, knocked out every opponent he's ever faced, including dropping Tyson 4 times and never truly landing clean punches on Tyson Fury. But yet, he knocked Tyson Fury down 4 times, okay? And Tyson Fury knocked him down a total of 5 times, okay? So Tyson Fury is not known to be a big power puncher. He has more stoppages, 17 stoppages, and now he has 5 knockouts, okay? But he's not known to be a big puncher, and yet he floors Deontay Wilder 5 times, okay, in 3 fights. So in 3 fights, they've knocked each other down a total of 9 times. That is, if that doesn't speak action-packed, I don't know what does. Again, in 3 fights, they have knocked each other down 9 times, okay? That's historic in itself, okay? And so, like Mike Tyson stated, it wasn't a big skill fight. Right, it wasn't, because Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield, Muhammad Ali, George Foreman, they were heavyweights, but they're not super heavyweights. We're dealing with super heavyweights. Tyson Fury is 6'9", 277 pounds. Deontay Wilder is 6'7" with 238 pounds. Okay, Anthony Joshua is 6'6", 250 pounds. You have these guys are super heavyweights. Even the smaller heavyweights of today's time, when you look at Alexander Usyk, 6'4" with a 78-inch arm reach. Luis Ortiz, 6'4" with a 78-inch arm reach. Those guys are still bigger than George Foreman, and Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield. Now, Riddick Bowe was considered a super heavyweight, okay? Lennox Lewis was a super heavyweight, 6'5", okay, 240 pounds. But these guys, Lennox Lewis was considered a super heavyweight, and he was considered one of the biggest heavyweights in the history of sport of boxing. And yet, today's time, these guys dwarf him, okay, because he's 6'5", 240 pounds, but Luis Ortiz, that's natural. Dillian White, 6'4", 240 pounds. Alexander Usyk, 6'3", 235 pounds, okay? You have 230 pounds. Then you have these guys, Luis Ortiz, 6'4". These guys are naturally this side, naturally bigger than yesteryear. Okay, and Mike Tyson was an anomaly at 5'11". Okay, but Evander Holyfield 6'2", 220 pounds. Okay, so these guys are not, today's time, these guys are super heavyweights, truly super heavyweights. And so they're not going to look the most skilled. They're going to look sloppy at times. They're going to look slow at times, okay, because they're giant heavyweights, okay? And so, again, you got 6'6" Anthony Joshua, 250 pounds. You have Deontay Wilder, 6'7", 240 pounds nearly. Tyson Fury, 6'9", 277 pounds, okay? So they're enormous. George Foreman was considered the biggest heavyweight and big, strong heavyweight in his era, and he was 6'3", 225 pounds. Okay? Alexander Usyk is bigger than George Foreman, or just the same size, and he's considered a small heavyweight. So you're going to get these guys that are, they're not going to look the most skilled. They're going to look sloppy. They're going to look like they're clumsy at times because they're very big heavyweights. But I agree with Mike Tyson. He said this solidifies as one of the greatest fights, and they solidified themselves as two of the greatest heavyweights, and I agree. But that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
Hey, this is Ebony Bridges, Blonde Bomber, and you're watching Blue Blood Sports TV.